One of the derbies we usually go to every year for the past 3 years has been Brooklyn. Now it's kind of a far drive from my house, but it's usually ran by a company called Thrill Show. And Thrill Show's rules are pretty simple. They've kind of dialed it back this year, which I'm not too happy about because none of my Thrill Show cars can now run their rules, but we'll talk about that in a different video. The Fair Board has switched from Thrill Show to Impact, and Impact is having a stock show on the Thursday night, and I'm just going to check to see what they have on the Saturday night. So on the Saturday night they're having Pro Mini, but on the Thursday night they're having Stock Mini. So this kind of sucks for me because do I want to build a Stock Mini and go on Thursday, or do I want to build a Pro Mini and go on Saturday? I don't know what my work schedule is going to be like in the upcoming future, so I don't know to build this as a Pro or to build this as a straight stock Mini. Now, there's quite a bit of differences between a Pro Mini and a straight stock Mini. Now, I could build two separate cars, but it's not really worth it to build two separate cars. If I bring this as a straight stock Mini, I could bring it back against the Pros, but realistically, it's bringing a butter knife to a gun show when you bring a stock Mini to a Pro show. See, this is the perfect car for an SS Mini. And the reason why it's a perfect car for an SS Mini is because it is very low rust. And being a Toyota Camry, the front ends of these cars are very, very strong from factory. Now, a SS Mini, which means straight stock. Now, straight stock means you can't do very much of anything. No threaded rod, no welding. Just basically gut, go, seatbelt, driver door bar, and crossbar is optional. And move your gas tank to the inside. No gas tank protectors, no nothing like that. Building one of those cars is really simple, and I can do it in a day. And those are more of a driver show. And if you guys don't know what I mean by a driver show, that means you really have to drive smart to win. You can't be an idiot because your car can't really take certain abusive shots from different angles. You have to plan your shots, you have to drive sensible, and you have to basically be on guard all the time because one bad shot and you're done. I wouldn't do anything too real drastic to the front of this car. The only thing I would maybe do to the front of it is I would take this bumper off and I would put a newer Camry front bumper on. And that way it's basically straight interchange. And it actually looks like it could do it. I would put a newer Camry bumper on because I like those ones much more. I find they're a much stronger front bumper than these ones, but I'm not sure if I'm even allowed to do that. For SS rules, you can basically remove out of the car anything that you want. You can move electrical. You can basically make your rad floating. You can notch the back of the car, but you can't pre-bend any steel. You cannot add any steel. The only steel you can add is I believe a 1-inch wide strip that goes 1 inch onto the frame and 1 inch onto the bumper to help the factory bumpers hold into place. No threaded rod, no pre-bending, no tilting, no solid suspension, DOT tires. I think you can double, but I'm not sure on that. Factory bolt-on parts is what you're allowed to do. You're not allowed to add any steel to them. Now, I really do like SS cars, and the reason why I like SS cars is because how fast, how simple they are to build, and the part that I like about it is it basically does not exclude anybody from the sport. If you don't have a welder, not a problem. If you don't have, basically you can do this without even a grinder almost. It's not a problem. SS Mini makes it so that everybody can get into the sport. I think SS Mini is a great way to get new people into the sport because if you don't get new people into the sport, it's going to die off. Like, smashing cars is a very uncommon hobby, we'll say. If you're a new driver, say you're 21 years old and you've went to a couple local fairs and you won a derby, and you go to a pro show with a straight stock car because you don't know how to do it. And I'm guilty of this. One of my first derbies, I brought a Lumina to a show that was so underbuilt that it was crazy. I got destroyed and the thing was rotted. But As a new driver, you don't know that. You don't know what you can move. You don't know you can move electrical. You don't know that you can put threaded rod. You don't know that you can just do little welding here and there, little tips and tricks kind of thing, right? An SS Mini is for you to get in the ring and see how your car brakes at reasonable cost. A show that Cassandra and I usually go to every year is Brooklyn. Now, Brooklyn is a demolition derby in the town of Brooklyn, Ontario, and it used to be ran by Thrill Show. They have a show on Thursday night and Saturday night, and previous years we'd go to both because it was the same rules for Thursday night and the same rules for Saturday. And usually Thursday's got a smaller turnout than Saturday, and I'm fine with that. I just like going out there and hitting people. But the great thing about it is if you build a car to go there Thursday night, you wreck it Thursday, you go back Saturday. Kill the car. Why not kill the car? It has just changed to Impact Motorsports. Impact Motorsports puts on great shows. But what they've done is they've made Thursday night a stock mini show, and they've made Saturday night a pro mini show. So I can build this car bone stock, SS Mini. I can explain those rules to you in a bit, but I could build this to be an SS Mini, and it'd do great. And I could run it Thursday night. What happens if this car survives Thursday night? And all of a sudden I have to go there Saturday with the exact same car because there's no way I can take an SS Mini from a SS Mini on a Thursday night, which I'd be getting home Friday morning, and change it all the way over to a Pro by Saturday night. The most I'd be able to do is add a gas tank protector, maybe swap a bumper, that kind of stuff. Realistically, it takes a long time to build a full Pro Mini. But it kind of sucks that you can't have one car to run both nights. A lot of the guys that go to Brooklyn run both nights. So even if I build an SS, I can run both, but I'm going to get killed. Now it is kind of fun being an underdog, but it makes you a giant target inside the ring. I can build a Pro Mini, but then I can't go Thursday. I can only go Saturday. What happens if my work schedule changes and I bring an SS Mini and I can't go Thursday night? I can only go Saturday night, and now I have an SS. I'm going to go there with a fresh SS car and get destroyed in Brooklyn. Now some of you guys are probably thinking, why do you care if you wreck this car? And I don't care if I wreck this car. I actually really enjoy smashing cars. I enjoy smashing a car to the point where somebody looks at it and goes, what kind of car is that? But if I'm going to go to a show and I am going to be so underbuilt that I know that I'm going to get smashed, and if I go cross track and hit somebody and their car doesn't move an inch and mine folds in half, that's not fun. That is underbuilt to the point where it's a butter knife trying to go through a piece of steak. You can do it, but it's going to take you so damn long and you're just going to destroy yourself. What SS Mini means is I can't put any threaded rod. I can't do any welding except to hold this front bumper on. And by holding it on, you're allowed like a 2-inch wide piece of steel that goes 1 inch on the frame and 1 inch on the bumper. That's it. No threaded rod, no body creasing, no tucking trunks, no nothing. You can notch the rear frame, but you can't pre-bend it. So basically, what you're allowed to do is very, very limited. You're allowed to move electrical. You're allowed to change up little things under the hood that basically, if you can unbolt it, you're allowed to do it. It's basically stripping a car, smashing out the windows. For cage, you don't need to have a cage at all. There's no rule saying that you need a cage. SS Minis are becoming very popular up here in Ontario, and I think it's awesome because SS Minis get new people into the sports that weren't in the sport last year. You guys here on my YouTube channel love seeing these big pro builds and welding and welding and welding and stuff like that. But I think that this car is going to go SS. And the main reason I think it's going to go SS is just because it's one of the shows that's coming up. It's a show that we go to almost every year. It's semi-local. It's about an hour and 20 minutes away from our house. But I find that SS cars really push the driving skill to the edge. When you drive an SS car, you can't take a stupid shot. You can't take a tie rod shot like you can in a pro car because you have nothing there. Your tie rods are not reinforced. Your ball joints are not reinforced. Your struts are not reinforced. You don't have steel behind your struts. So you take that one bad hit and you're done. You break a tie rod. You never know what happens, right?